Good evening, everybody. It is Wednesday. It is Retro Game Revival ModCons, episode 4. Thank you very, very much for joining us this evening if you are there in the chat. How are we all doing? Everybody good?
Yeah, all really good.
Yeah, all good.
Excellent. It feels like there's been a lot of stuff happening. So I'm sure there'll be some stuff. People will talk about some stuff in the chat, I am sure. So I feel like we're only going to sort of scratch the surface with any of this, as we always do. But anyway, joining us this evening on ModCons, we have Mr. Blanners.
I can actually hear me.
It's beautiful sounding. You have never sounded so fucking clear. It's wonderful.
Wow. Oh, that's weird, isn't it?
So good. Love it. And we have Mr. Triangle Face Tim with that very, very attractive background going on
now
today.
Live from the Mushroom Kingdom.
Excellent. Love it. So
Don't get
good.
too high.
Yeah, I'm now
Excellent.
experimenting with a new laptop, and I've got a green screen and a much nicer camera and things like that. So yeah, hopefully I can have some different backgrounds like this going forward.
Check it out. Look at us. We're getting all semi-professional now. We've all got better sounding mics. We're getting better cameras. Check this out.
I need to catch up on the mic. Perhaps after the next payday, I'll hit you up for some links to order some microphone. So I'll get myself a new mic, I think, next.
Excellent. It feels like there's probably a few games we can chat about. I know I've definitely been playing a few. So what do we say we get straight into it with first topic, which is always, what have you been playing? So if any one of you two wants to kick it off, what games have you been playing at the moment?
I don't mind going first because
I
haven't got too much. So I've been playing, as I was saying earlier, I've been playing Simpsons Hit and Run, streaming it every night on Snapchat at the minute, and no, TikTok, sorry, not Snapchat, on TikTok, and I don't really remember it as a child, but it is so good and it's so funny, and they're like, it's just the witty little between the characters and stuff. Oh, it's brilliant. It's just like they are on the TV show, and obviously it has got like massive. Everyone loves it. How it's. Do you know what I mean? I've seen today there was someone who's actually redone it all as actual like Simpson characters and a mod, so that's pretty cool.
That is awesome.
But yeah, so and the other thing I've been playing is I picked this up last week is a Live Alive. It's a
yeah, I saw that.
Yeah, and it's basically what it was saying. It's from 1994, Super Famicom, never got translated and done by Square Enix. Dwarves would hate it because it's turn-based, but
turn-based battle.
Yeah, so you
not
play
one for Dwarves.
You play. There's 8 different characters, and they're all from like different scenarios. So like, I've started in prehistory, so it's all like obviously it's all like redone. It's all like 16-bit kind of style, but I've started in prehistory where they don't actually talk, so they just like go and they like point to where they want you. So like, mate, he's in the way, I can't get past him, and he's like pointing and telling me to go off to like the side. And I did play In the Distant Future was the one I played, which you were a robot, and that was all like fully voiced. So it's apparently when you've done like your 8 side missions, it's about 25 hours. You then everyone comes in together, and then you'll then carry on and look to. I don't want to give any spoilers away because I don't actually know, but I've just heard that you'll obviously all join together somehow, because I don't know how they're going to do it when I'm playing someone who's prehistoric at the minute. So yeah, it's
it normally tends to happen in games like that, doesn't it? When you start off with different people, at some point all the parties will overlap. Happens quite a lot in some Final Fantasy games, isn't it? So you start off, you jump between. Well, I think there's a couple where like you follow 2 different parties and jumps between the 2, and then the parties meet up, and then there's a split, and half the parties end up with each other. So then you go back to having 2 parties, but you're with 2 separate groups than what you originally were. So you mix up the characters.
And
like that.
And it was only £30. It's brand new, £30.
Nice.
Thought, yeah, and I know that I'll get at least 30 hours out of it. So I thought, why not?
Yeah, £1 an hour. That's a good rate for a game. Especially a Switch title as well, like a turn-based RPG on the Switch for £30 brand new. I mean, that's
mad.
That's borderlining unheard of.
Yeah,
that is really good. Yeah, that is really good.
That's all I've been playing at the minute.
No, I mean that sounds like a handful. So, but yeah, my daughter has been watching you on Twitch doing. Yeah. She's been digging that. My daughter, she's the generation that's totally into TikTok. So yeah, she's been getting a kick out of that. She came down and told me earlier, I've been watching Blunders play Simpsons.
Yeah, well, I had a couple of glitches because basically I've had a huge. I didn't know because it was playing fine. I didn't really check the disc, but I was getting to a certain part, and it, like the music would just start going, and I'm thinking, oh great, and then I just drove out. I've actually put it. I just drove out there, and the floor went, and then like. So then I hit something and my car blew up. So I could got out of the car and then I just sunk
And you
down
fell
into
as
my
well.
death.
Yeah, I
But it
saw
was
that
like,
clip the other day.
yeah, but it happened to me again where I went to a phone booth and it just went. But then what I did is I have ordered another disc off eBay. So I've got, that was only like £8. That's coming. But I ended up getting toothpaste and rubbing it on the scratch. Yeah, not even joking. I was
Okay.
Googling it, cleaned it off with like some the like like the electronic cleaner and some wet wipes, dried it all off, cleaned the laser, and I've managed to get past that part, and it's now, touch wood,
Oh wow, nice.
it's been fine, it's working. So I might be able to give that away to someone else who later on, because I've got a
Okay.
new disc coming,
nice.
so I don't mind giving that one away.
So-
Oh, yeah, I had a similar issue with I used to really like playing Oblivion. I had Oblivion on the Xbox 360 on disc, and I got to a certain point where like it would crash during loading screens, and I really wanted to keep playing it. And actually, I took it to Game, and Game had got I don't know if I presume they still do this. They're like the machine was like an industrial like disc cleaner, and you could pay £1 to run your disc through it. But there's like no guarantee that it would work, sort of thing. But I was like, I'll give it a try for £1, and then I put it home. Never crashed again after that.
Yeah.
How
that
weird.
was, pretty good.
I've never heard of the toothpaste tactic though.
Googled it, mate.
Yeah.
Googled it, and that
Yeah?
was number one. That was
Toothpaste
number one
tactic.
on there. It's like
Wow.
toothpaste, right? And like, yeah, I don't know how, but it worked. I'm not even gonna. It's worked.
How random. Okay, so there we go. Getting in there for your top tips. Toothpaste your scratch discs and it might make it work
Yeah.
again.
Somehow, yeah, I don't know how, but yeah.
There you go.
Okay.
We've always been quite good at refurbing stuff. I've seen you've done like a few like rundown consoles that you cleaned out and put
Yeah,
back
like,
together again.
yeah, and I've done a few retro Brighton stuff that have gone like yellow. And just Google, just YouTube's your friend. Do you know what I mean? Just copy what's on there. Tinfoil job, tub, the old alcohol and the old UV lights on it. I managed to turn my I got a Famicom that came from Japan. No joke, it was like pure smoker's ashtray yellow, and like I took it apart, cleaned it up because it was absolutely covered in crap, but and left it for 2 weeks, and it came out looking brand new.
Nice.
It was
Yeah.
very pretty. I have to admit, it was
Yeah.
a very, very pretty console when it came out of that mix, mate. That was something special.
And it's so easy to do. It's literally like a £10 bottle of the old chemical, and then just some lights and some tin foil. Do you know what I mean? Just hid it away so the kids wouldn't touch it, and yeah, it worked.
Beautiful. Mr. Tim, what have you been playing?
I have been playing, and I'm a little bit obsessed with Emu VR on the Oculus Quest at the moment. So it's available on like PC VR Link. So this is one of the reasons I got a new laptop. I've got my new camera today. So I've got a new laptop. I've got a PC VR Link for my Oculus, and then I can actually get onto online desktop to then play games off of other sources. You can get like Steam VR. There's an Oculus app. There's different things you do. So Emu VR, if you've not seen it, it's a app. It's in beta at the moment, but they've got all the links in their Discord, and they've got like a wiki page as well with guides on how everything works. So the basic of it is you're in a room and you can interact with stuff in the room. So there's loads of different stuff in the room, and you can spawn things like TVs and consoles and games. So it doesn't come with any games in it. You have to get your own ROMs and put them in the right file structure. But as long as you've got files in the file structure, so when you're on your laptop, you stick your games in. You can put movies in. If you put a movie in it, in a movie folder, it appears as a VHS tape in the room, and you can stick that in a VHS player and then stick that to a TV. Any games, there's quite a few consoles that work on it as well. It worked up to Wii. I did try some Wii games on there, but the controls didn't really work out because it's like you need to connect to nunchuck and that sort of thing. But it does launch and run. It's got like some handheld consoles, but rather than having a handheld, it's on a TV still. So there's a few things they could probably still work on. But things like PlayStation, I've got PlayStation 2 working on it, Dreamcast, GameCube, N64, like all those consoles have just worked absolutely fine, and it's been very minimal faff to get it working. You just follow the guides. Like the guides they put together have been brilliant, and also you can get like labels and stuff on there, so you can get them looking nice. And yeah, I've just been really blown away by how nice it is in the room. Like I've seen a few videos on YouTube of people playing on it. It doesn't quite do it justice for what it's like actually in the virtual room. Like the amount of detail they've got, like the TVs have got like reflection, and you can see like if you're playing a game and then like goes to a black screen to load, you can see the reflection of like your wall and your your bed sheets and stuff in the room reflecting off the TV.
Mhm.
And you can change like the season, you can change the lighting. There's loads of stuff you can customize and objects you can add in the room. And the room's full of like posters, and you can go around, you can go into the files for the posters and you can change them. So they're set position and size, but you can edit the poster to look different. So I was just like copying and pasting different things in there to change what the posters look like. So you can customize your posters, your wallpaper, your carpet and your bed sheets, and then put your games in there. So yeah, once you've got everything set up, you can just have fun in the room. You can pick things up. And the fun thing about it is as well, in order to play games, like you'll have a desk with like a Mega Drive on it. You get
Yeah.
the cable out the back of the Mega Drive, and then you have to plug the cable into the TV, and then turn the TV on and turn the Mega Drive on, and then it just plays. And also, if you can play using like, so I'm using like the Oculus Quest controllers. I've got a controller in each hand with the analog sticks. If I want to play something like, say, I was trying to play Time Splitters 2 the other day, and it wasn't great for using the D-pad. So sometimes it's using the analog stick to move, but then the D-pad is change weapon, and you had to click down the right analog stick to turn the left analog stick into a D-pad. So it's a bit
Mhm.
awkward to play with that. Most of the stuff was fine with it, but I was like, got to a point where it's like, kind of feel like I want to play with the gamepad. And I looked it up, and it's literally plugged in a controller, and it just works. So I was like,
Wow.
oh, so you plug a controller
wow.
into your laptop. I had an Xbox Elite controller, so I plugged it in via USB to the laptop and left it on the table. And literally, when I sat down, turned on the game, I was like, right, I will now want to play the controller. Just popped my Oculus Quest controllers down, picked up the Xbox controller, and started playing. And it just
That's
plays.
so cool.
It was really, really good. And the other thing that you can do is light gun games. And I absolutely like, I've got Time Crisis and Point Blank and stuff on it. And all you need to do is
Amazing.
put it in a separate folder called like light gun, and then when you scan all the games, there's an option to choose light gun. So I've got two folders for PlayStation. I've got PlayStation and PlayStation Light Gun, and the PlayStation Light Gun folder has a setting of light gun. Then in the room, there's one PlayStation and all the discs. And if you happen to put a disc that's from the second folder in, you'll automatically be holding a light gun in your hand, and you just point at the screen and shoot, and yeah, it just works. It's amazing how well it works once you've got it set up.
Yeah. So how
It's
do you
sick.
select like them games though? Is it? Do you know what I
So
mean? Can you
yeah,
see
so
the discs?
yeah, there is a menu. So when you start a room, you can start a room with nothing in it, and you open up a menu, and there's a list of objects. So the list of objects will include your monitors, and you've got like monitors from like the 90s, 80s, and 70s, and you pick sizes. So then you can literally pick up and hold your TVs and plonk them down, because like your hands are there with your controllers. You grab things and move them. You then go into systems, and you find your systems. So whenever you open up the menu, you can literally grab stuff out of this floating menu and pull it into the room, and then put it down somewhere. So if you're playing on, I've now like spawned all the cartridges and stuff and put them out on the desks and put them on the shelves. So if I'm playing on a game on the Mega Drive, or I play a new one, I could turn off the Mega Drive, then grab the cartridge and take it out, and then pick up another cartridge and plug it in, and then turn it on, and then it just starts playing the next game. So in order to change games, you literally have to physically move the discs and the cartridges around, and then you just play the next game. Yeah, it's really fun. Like even like the GameCube games are like smaller discs, because you've got the GameCube game size discs.
Yeah.
And things like that. It looks really cool. There's a handful of things that aren't quite there yet. So some of the consoles
Yee.
are like a generic knockoff console that look the same. So things like the PlayStation 1, PlayStation 2, and N64 all look like the actual console. But some of the older systems just all look the same. It's like a generic default console, I guess, they've got in there. So all of the handheld stuff is that. So I've tried like to see if it ran like Nintendo DS and Game Boy Advanced, and it does run them like Nintendo DS. You can't use the stylus stuff, so that's not there yet. But like Game Boy Advance games play. It's just you're having to play it on a TV as opposed to like on a handheld device. So that might be something they develop in future. Because again, it's in beta at the moment. You can sort of, it's free to get as well. So it's a free software, but you can pay. I think you can give donate to their Patreon, which I think I'll definitely be doing. Now I've had a go on it and seen how good it is. I think I'll fling some money their way to support the project, because I can see how much potential it's got. You can even, there's a phone in your room as well. I haven't played around with this yet, but there is net play settings, and you can invite other people into your room, and then they can like see your room as well, and then you can sort of play 2-player games.
That's awesome.
Really,
It
it's
sounds like a
really
really fun project.
Yeah, I'm definitely I'll do a video on it and post it on the channel in the next few days. I'll do like a little room tour. But I just think it's pretty cool. Like, I don't think I would ever watch a film just sat in a VR room with my headset on. Do you know what I mean? Like, I'd probably just watch Netflix on my actual TV rather than do it, because there's some Netflix apps you can get where you can literally sit in a log cabin, and then there's a big TV with Netflix on it, which is a nice idea. But I don't think I'd ever actually spend a long amount of time doing that. But in this, I could have a game playing on one TV, and then on the shelf have another TV with a VHS thing plugged in, and put a tape in and watch that. So I think I might actually have a film playing in the background while I'm then playing a game on the main TV. So I
Hmm.
think I'll probably use it for that, which is pretty cool.
Awesome.
You can play music in it, but what I found is at the moment, again, it's the generic console with cartridges rather than like a CD player. And instead of having like a cartridge that's a whole album, it's just one song. So if you put some music files in the folder, like each individual song shows up as a cartridge. You can plug it in and play it, and you have to hook it up to a TV and play it through a TV. But you can put music on in there if you wanted to.
That's really cool.
Yeah.
Alright,
It's
Yeah.
sort of like an evolution of like PlayStation Home, isn't it? When they inevitably tried to do that big online like community service where you were all together and you had your little avatar and you had your room. People could come to your room and could all dance. I think is the big selling point, and I don't think anybody downloaded it. But
this is definitely like I could see myself actually playing the games in this for a long
Hmm.
time. But it's just been fun customizing it and figuring out how everything works and trying different
Yeah.
systems and seeing what they look like in the room.
Yeah,
and
for
seeing what other
sure.
people have got as well. Like a lot of people on the Discord will share pictures of their room. I think I saw someone the other day had a thing where they just had loads of discs on the floor, and they're just grab loads of discs and chuck them in the air and grab one out of the air, and that's the game you have to play. It's like their thing. 'Cause you can, cause obviously it's all virtual. So you pick up a cartridge, you can like fling it across the room if you want, and you can like pick up your TV and throw your TV. And then what I've done is you can, once you've got your room set up, you can save it. So then if like, because I'm still getting used to the physics a bit, so I try to put a console on top of the TV, and sometimes you like knock the TV onto the floor, and you've got to like put everything back and things like that. So if things get a bit messy, you can just reload the room that you've saved, so you can like save all your preferences and stuff.
Okay.
So, yeah, it makes
That
it
sounds
really
good.
easy to use. It's really good.
Excellent. That sounds bloody awesome. We'll get on to Oculus later on. There's something we're going to bring up. I don't know if I've got it in the topics tonight, but we'll cover something with Oculus a little bit later on. I have had to put a pin in Elden Ring because I was starting to get too many games building up. So I was like, right, I've reached another point in Elden Ring where I'm like, okay, I'm going to pause that again. I'm at like the 90-hour mark now. I'm a little bit lost as to where I need to get to next. So right, cool. Put a pin in that. I'll come back to that when I've played a couple more games. The big game for me that I played that I love it. I really loved it. Some people hate it. I really loved it. Where is it? The reflection is awful. Martha is dead.
Oh
yeah, I remember you saying about this.
I ended up looking up because you could load this one up, go into the settings, choose uncensored. So I was like, right, so is the PlayStation version truly uncensored? And all they've done is there's a couple of things in it which are a bit grisly. And rather it be an interactive scene where you will like tap R1, R2 on and off, or you move the directional pad, it's basically now a cutscene. So they've taken away your active involvement and you're now just a voyeur for these particularly grisly scenes. That game is pretty hard. I don't want to say hard as in like it's really difficult. It's just really hard on the mind. It deals with some very, very adult topics. It deals with things like suicide. It deals with not knowing who you are, trying to find out who you are. It deals with losing pregnancy. It's pretty dark.
Deep one, yeah.
Pretty dark, and it's set in the backdrop on the literally at the tail end of World War II in Italy. So it's not a particularly cheery setting either. But yeah, that game is something else. Something else. The music is magnificent. The only thing that I would critique the game on is you've got a camera and you can use the camera to take or you have to use the camera to take certain photos in the game. And I thought that would play a bigger mechanic in the game than it did. It's sort of more of it's just a part. Some of the quests involve a camera, and that's it. It doesn't really sort of move anywhere further with it. So I thought, that's the only thing I would change. But yeah, if you want a really good adult-driven story game, Martha is Dead. 100% go into it, but just be warned. I know people always go on about, it's really disgusting and really, really disturbing. But yeah, a couple of bits in that, I was watching them going, "Ooh, God, that's happening. That's happening in front of me." So that was excellent. That was absolutely. I can definitely see myself playing that again.
I'm intrigued
100%.
now.
It's really good, really good. Another game that I picked up that I have been itching to pick up for ages, and there was just a really good deal on it, is Sifu. Don't know if anyone's seen anything on that.
No, I haven't heard of that.
Very, very cool. The art style is something else. I don't know what I would recommend or what I would say Sifu is like art style wise. It's definitely like a cartoon animation type thing, but it's not anime or manga. It's weird. It's very sort of Eastern inspired. And the game is you're a martial arts expert. You sort of grow up from being a kid. This incident happens at the beginning of the game, and you're this kid at the beginning of the game. And then you start the game as an adult, 20 years old, and you're trying to get revenge for what happened at the beginning of the game. But there's a really cool mechanic in it, in that every time you die, you can come back to life, but you age a year, and you can get really old. So you can get up to sort of 70 in the game if you're sort of dying that regularly. I'm not entirely sure what getting older in the game does to you, whether that has like a hindrance on you or whether it's what. I'm trying my hardest not to die quite so much. So when you die, you basically get the option to reset, go all the way back to the beginning of the level and start again at the age you were at the start of that level, or you can come back to life but age a year or 2 years. I think when you get to the next, once you get to like 22, it goes to 25 or something. But it's, the whole thing is just a martial arts game. You got to learn the combos, and you just sort of navigate through the levels in the third person, get to where you are, and you've got to beat the bad guys basically. But it's difficult. It's not an easy ride at all. You have to learn the combos. You can't just go in and mash X. You've got to learn the different combos for the different styles. So if someone comes in and blocks you, you can do a counter move which like breaks the block, so you can actually get in there and finish them off. It's very addictive, but very, very difficult. So I'm only sort of 3 levels into that at the moment, but that's pretty cool. And then I can see Raya in the chat. I watched Raya stream Cuphead a week or so, or 2 weeks ago. I can't remember.
So did I.
Oh man, it gave me the Cuphead bug again. So I completed it on Xbox, and I was like, oh, I've had this voucher, PlayStation voucher that I got for Christmas about 2 years ago. And because I don't buy digital, so it's kind of sat there waiting for something. And I thought, you know what? I'm going to get Cuphead again. And I'm going to play that on PlayStation. So thank you, Raya, for streaming Cuphead and giving me the Cuphead bug. And I'm trying to do that a little bit more difficult as well. So I'm not settling for anything other than an A-, so that I can get the trophy for beating all the bosses at A-. So I'm now on the third island, and I forget how cool that game is. I think playing Elden Ring and Demon Souls.
It yet.
Oh,
I've still not played it. I need to get a copy of it. I think I need to get on
it's fantastic.
Definitely looks like my kind of game I'd like.
Fantastic. The whole thing is just boss battles, and each map then normally has like 2 run and gun levels. But yeah, it's just boss battles, but it's difficult. I think playing Elden Ring and Demon Souls over the last couple of years has kind of made me not get so angry about dying in a game, seeing as you just die all the time in both of those games. So yeah, Cuphead, Martha is Dead, and Sifu have been taking up quite a lot of my time.
Sifu sounds awesome. What platforms is Sifu available on?
PlayStation and PC. It might be on Xbox. I'll tell you what. Let me do a quick Google.
That does sound like the kind of game I would enjoy.
I can't recommend it enough. Okay, so the first article.
It's not that much either, and you can get it on PS4.
Is Sifu coming to Xbox? So it doesn't look like it's on Xbox yet.
No,
but yeah, definitely. I think it's on PC, but it's definitely on PlayStation. Very, very cool. I'd highly recommend just watch some like gameplay after this. We'll watch some gameplay now if you can multitask. I certainly can't. Yeah, very cool game. There's a. So those are the ones that have been itching me lately. So jumping into our first actual topic, as I said, lots of stuff has happened, and I think this next topic is going to be another. What's the words? I wonder the phrase I'm looking for. Another win for physical media. I know we talk about the digital versus physical quite a lot. So Ubisoft are to shut down some of their multiplayer and online services. I think that included like 15 games to start with, one of which is some of the Assassin's Creed games. And from reading online, that means that the multiplayer element of those games will no longer work because they won't be supported. And also any DLC that is currently available to purchase will not be available to purchase for these titles. Initially, when you sort of see how old some of those games are, I guess my initial thought would be, oh, well, it doesn't matter. They're old games. No one's playing them anymore. But specifically with Xbox, I say more so with Xbox, where they've really gone for this idea that you can play all of your Xbox games going back to original Xbox on your Series X or your Series S if you do Game Pass and the game is there. It kind of feels like the longevity for those older games is still there. Might only be a handful of people that play them, but there's definitely going to be a handful of people that will want to play some of those games with those DLCs. And taking away that service, unless you've got like Game of the Year edition or something where the DLC is on the disc, it kind of feels like they're just, I don't know. Does it bother people? I mean, I haven't played an online Assassin's Creed game probably since Assassin's
I've got
Creed.
a list here. So it's Assassin's Creed 2, 3, Brotherhood, Liberation, Revelation, Driver San Francisco's, Far Cry 3, Tom Clancy's Ghost Recon, Future Soldier, Prince of Persia, The Forgotten Sands, Rayman Legends, Silent Hunter 5, Space Junkies, Splinter Cell Blacklist, and Zombie U. So,
Wow.
It's quite a lot in it. Especially like I did play the only ones out of those I've actually played online was some of the Assassin's Creed. Me and a few friends used to play the Assassin's Creed multiplayer mode where you'd have like you'd have a turn as being assassins and then a turn of hiding.
yeah.
And that was really good fun because it was quite funny. We got really good at one point because if you were the idea was most of your points you'd rack up when you're on the assassin side. And sometimes just be lucky whether you're first or second. So we had a round where we started the first round as the people hiding. But because we're all like on our headsets talking, we're like, you got bonuses if you're all hid in the same place. So we literally all ran to the same place and just hid there and got racked up loads of points. And then as soon as somebody came, we were just like, oh, someone's coming, which ran away. And they said, right, now let's meet by this tree over there. We did that. And by the time we started our turn as the assassins, we'd already won. So we just sat down on benches and waited. And if anyone happened to sit next to us, we just went, stab. So that was a really fun game. So it's a shame that's gone, but haven't played it for years. So
No.
I'd imagine, like from Ubisoft's point of view, like if no one's playing it, that probably has a cost to run, right? So they've got to try and do something.
I would say it does. It's interesting that removing the live element, the online multiplayer element of it, I kind of think, okay, fine, yeah, remove that because, like you say, some people haven't played this for years. Some people might not be playing it ever or at all anymore. In which case, yeah, that's fine. Kind of feels like a bit weird to take the DLC down.
Yeah,
it's a bit weird. Isn't it?
I tell you why I sit with it is like I think if you're buying a subscription service, it's different. Like because things come off of subscription service all the time. Don't they? Like films and TV shows will leave Netflix and new stuff comes on. Things with the Game Pass, they'll add new stuff, old stuff then leaves. I think that's different because you're paying to access the library and you're paying a subscription every month. Whereas if you bought something for downloadable content, then you've bought it, you've paid one-off fee to buy that for, and often it's the same price, isn't it? It's not like it's cheaper to download it. Often the physical copy and the digital copy are often the same price. So if you downloaded it and you paid for it and then they take something away, I kind of feel like you should get some sort of refund back or some sort of like Ubisoft credits or something. Yeah, that's where it wouldn't sit well with me if I'd just paid for download.
No, I think Harry's in the chat. He's just put a comment up about it. I think we were chatting today, and he was saying that some of these older physical games like Game of the Year editions and that kind of thing that's got the DLC on the disc are have started to go up in price a little bit. So closing some of these services might end up actually having a negative impact on the physical media market for something that's as common as, say, Assassin's Creed Brotherhood or something, because there might be a version of it with DLC on the disc. And it just goes back to that idea of buying something digitally. Do you ever own it? Is it yours? I mean, it's becoming more and more apparent that the answer is no. So, rather than buy things digitally, you may as well just take out a subscription service. If you've got
I think that's better, isn't it?
Yeah, if you've got a discless PS5 or an Xbox Series S, just take out PlayStation Plus, whatever it's called, Elite or whatever it is, and do Game Pass, because that's the only way that you can guarantee that you never even owned the games to start with.
Yeah,
buying it digitally just seems like a colossal waste of money now, because it's not yours, or some of the game isn't yours.
I can remember there's a game. Apparently, it's starting to get popular now on PC. But I used to play a game called Evolve with a few friends. Like one of you is like a monster, and the rest of you are hunting them. The monster evolves as you play. And that did not last very long. I thought it looked really cool, and we played it quite a bit. I suppose it was more fun because we all knew each other, so we were all on the headsets and we were talking while we were playing. So it's kind of like quite a good social game. And they took away the online service for that after less than a year, I think. It came down pretty quickly. So I don't know what the factors are, because like other games are still going now. Like I've got a friend who's really into For Honor, and For Honor came out years ago. I don't know how old that game is now, but he still plays it all the time. And that's got a really good community of people playing it online. Like if you go online and you find a game quickly, there's lots of other people playing it all the time. So I think it just depends how many people are logging on to play it.
When they tried shutting down Halo 2, and there were some people that just weren't fucking having it, and they were just playing it on purpose, just leaving it running, because obviously they couldn't close it while there was people in there.
I need to look up that story because I can remember hearing. I don't know exactly what happened, but I can remember seeing something. I think it was like a guy the last guy to play Halo 2, stayed logged in. He took a week off work and he did not log off the whole week. And they said, right, we'll shut down the server when like everyone's finished their final login. Like if you log out, you can't log back in again. That was it. But he just stayed on for a whole week. And then apparently like he was still going at the end. He had to get back to work. So he would just like leave his character there and go to work and come back. And he died a whole bunch of times, but then he just carried on playing. And he just kept on going and going. So I think they must have like sent him something at the end. But he like was the last person on his own in a Halo 2 server for like the last week.
But it is madness, isn't it, to think that people are pushing this digital era, but kind of screwing it all in the same time by just removing the digital content for you, and not even, it's just not there. You know, eventually these things are just not going to be there for people to play. Like imagine this, you know, I could bang on about physical media until the day I die, probably. But imagine now us chatting about older games like we do on the RGR channel. Frequently talk about nostalgic games when we have guests on. We'll talk about, like, you know, we had Master Daniel Pacina on. We're chatting about our experiences with Mortal Kombat. Imagine if not being able to experience that on physical hardware now, because when it came out, it was available digitally, and then 10 years down the line, Midway went, we're not supporting Mortal Kombat anymore, and just remove it. Like, what do you do?
It's mad, isn't it? Because it is. Like, do you ever, like, the thing is, they release stuff now that ain't finished. Do you know what I mean? Prime example, Cyberpunk. I've got it physically, but fuck, you know, imagine like when the servers do go and you try playing it. Like, because you really nowadays, as soon as you put something in, boom, there's an update. There's a day one update patch that's coming because it's been thrown out the door. So
I wonder
hopefully it won't still work.
I wonder if those patches that they send you, does that stay on your console? So as long as you keep your console the way it is, would that keep the game complete?
It's funny actually. It just made me think. Do you remember that game that came out quite a while ago now? It's called Flappy Bird, and people just went mad for it. And it's just that one touch game where you flapped between some like Mario style pipes. And the guy that made it just got so much attention in one go that he just kind of like took it down, because he was like, I can't handle like all this attention. So he just took the game down. And people were selling phones that had already downloaded Flappy Bird for like hundreds of pounds. The world's gone mad for this one button touch game. But yeah, people were selling phones. Like, I've got an iPhone that's got Flappy Bird on it. I'll sell it for like £800.
Yeah,
like what?
And people were paying that.
Yeah.
You know, it's like when PT got removed. You know, all of a sudden people were selling PS4s to PT for like £700. Like, what? I mean, now you can pick one up with PT on for like £200. It's like you're just buying a PS4 now. But it just kind of, I don't know. I just think this. I'm still not convinced that this digital era, this digital market, is the way to go. You know, again, something else that Harry said to me today when we were chatting was Google Stadia. I mean, who the hell? I thought that had gone. You saw it. The adverts for it everywhere, weren't they, on telly? Stadia, all that crap. It was just everywhere. No one I know plays Google or uses Google Stadia. So, how is that still going?
The concept was like good, as in like you could play on anything. It's a fact that like you could be at work, just pull your mobile phone out and you could just play on your screen. So like kind of like what Xbox have done anyway.
Mm-hmm.
The actual concepts, the ideas are right, but like they haven't got they haven't got the publishers. Do you know what I mean? It's a big old. You think the name having Google in it, it would be a big powerhouse, but it just seems to have just died.
Strange. But again,
weird,
it's just
yeah.
it's just another one of those like online services that you just like. I just don't get it. Game Pass, I get. PS Plus, I get. You know, but I do not get some of these online services, the way these things are run. It's weird. I just really hope we don't end up in this soulless digital era. I really do, because it's just that idea that I'm never going to be able to play certain things later down the line, or
There's a
show
game
my
me and my
kids
friends
certain
found.
games. You know,
I think it was one which it came up on it. It wasn't a games with gold, it was a deals with gold. So I still did actually buy the game. But I think it was only like £5. It's like a £5 game. And it's called Hybrid. And it's like a 3 versus 3 shooter over the shoulder. And it is a really fun little game. And you can like level up your characters, do all the stuff there. We played it quite heavily. And then a few months later, like, I fancy playing that Hybrid game again. So I was like on the phone to mate saying, shall we try that Hybrid game again and go back to it? Because we had like a really good run on it for a few weeks. Went to go play it and it was gone. It was like, can't play it. But I bought that game for £5.
It was
Got
gone.
to play it for a couple of months, and now I can't play it anymore because there was no server anymore. So you couldn't, and the whole thing was online. There was no campaign mode or offline mode. It was just an
Wow.
online multiplayer PvP, and that was it. And then once they took the server down, I was like, oh, this game's gone now. There just wasn't enough people logging onto it. I guess there's no one to play against. I was like, that's just mad though. Like, okay, I've only spent a £5, but still, principle is, I've paid for that game and now I can't play it.
Mm-hmm. There was a game on the PS3. If a game is online only, all right, I can appreciate it. After, you know, however many years it is, eventually people are going to stop playing it, and it's going to cost too much for people to play it. And the game I remember on the PS3 that I used to really enjoy was Warhawk. It was just like a dogfight in plane game. Great fun, like loads of good fun. I mean, I doubt any servers are working for Warhawk now because there wasn't many people playing it at the time. But you know, things like Fortnite, like eventually when that fad dies a death, like, is that going to just disappear?
Yeah, that makes a very good point, because I was going to mention the new era we're now on with these battle royale games where the game is free, but you pay for loads of in-app purchase. So people could spend absolutely loads on these things. Some people might spend like regular amounts on Fortnite every month. So you could have somebody spend hundreds and hundreds of pounds on Fortnite. They could just take Fortnite away because Fortnite was free. You spent hundreds and hundreds of pounds on things to use in Fortnite and skins and weapons and things like that. You know, any of those sorts of games, you're buying stuff in the game. This aesthetics. What have you actually bought? If they take the game away, that's it.
Yeah, I'm so lucky my son's just come out of that. But all through COVID, he was on it, and they will just fight and argue with each other, and they will take the piss out of each other's stuff. And thank God he's not interested in it at all. But we've spent a good, I would say, over the time. It was always V-Bucks. I want V-Bucks. I want V-Bucks all the time. It's like £7-6 a pop. And then that's just for like 1,000. If you're looking at more, you're looking at loads more money. I think we didn't put way too much in it, but we did put some money into it for a game that he's not even interested in, and he won't be able to get back to it. But
I don't really know much about Roblox, but my niece and nephew are into Roblox, and like some birthdays and Christmas will get them Roblox vouchers. I have no idea how far that voucher goes. I'll get them like, I don't know, like a £25 Roblox voucher. Like, to me, a game normally costs like, you know, 25 to 50 quid, depending. It looks like a game that you could pay £25 and just have the game. I don't know what they spend it on in the game, whether it's like materials or resources or what, but that money just goes on stuff in the game. And then next Christmas, it's like, what do they want for Christmas? Roblox vouchers. Okay, get them another one. Yeah, where does it all go? And then if that game is gone, it's done, isn't it?
You got nothing to show for it.
Yeah.
No. Roblox is a weird one. Like my daughter was into it for a very short period of time, isn't into it anymore, thank God. It's just weird. It's weird. It's like a mixture of like Minecraft, Lego, and really obnoxious children. That's all I can say that it is. And all you spend money on is things like t-shirts. And
clothing,
dogs.
I think it's just because where I suppose kids now enjoy that sort of stuff because it's what they're used to, and this is what they were introduced to probably when they first discovered games. That's what games were doing at the time. And I think like because we've grown up having that whole going to a shop, buying a game, taking it home, and owning it, the whole concept of these when I ever see a game that's free, I'm like, it's not really free. I feel like I'm being manipulated, and I don't want to give them my money. Like even if it's really reasonable, it's like you're telling me it's free, but I can't. If it's pay to win and things like that, like I absolutely hate having to pay for DLC characters in fighting games because
Should
You
be
should be able
part
to,
of the game.
you should
Yeah.
be unlock them. It's better. Like, why do we play games? You play games to release dopamine. If you beat a boss and you unlock a new character, it releases dopamine. You've got a sense of achievement. You enjoy it. You don't release dopamine like paying to get a character. So you didn't unlock that character. You just spent more money on the game. And the thing that I hate about that as well, sometimes those DLC characters are in game better. Like they got further reach or they got higher stats. So somebody playing with that character will have an advantage. And they're more likely to beat you in a fight online, not because they're better than you, but because they've spent more money on the game. And that just really puts me off. It's like, no, I'm not for that at all.
No, it should never further your ability in the game. If you want to like change your aesthetics or, you know, fine, but it should never further your ability in the game.
Yeah,
I don't think. But
no, because then again,
never mind.
it takes the fairness out, doesn't it? It takes the fairness out of the game. You know, if
It does.
somebody's like better than their mates just because they spent more money.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
Ridiculous. Anyway, we could go on. I'm sure this won't be the last
Yeah.
time we talk about the digital versus physical, as all of these things develop as they do. But yeah, it was just another one for me that's happened recently where I've just thought, yeah, this digital malarkey is still not being completely sold on it yet.
Again,
We'll
I think
see.
of the thing I mentioned is this EMU VR. It's just been a brilliant way to play all these digital games that I've got, but as if it's in a physical room because you're physically being able to pick them up. So for me, that's just been an ideal solution. Because like, I've kind of got the illusion of a physical games room with my stuff all up on the shelves and all my cartridges, but actually, it's all really just on a hard drive.
Okie dokie. Segueing nicely onto the next topic. This topic, it's not really a topic. It's just in case anyone's seen it. I'm sure there'll be people in the chat that have seen this, mainly because it just looks pretty. God of War Ragnarok. The teaser a while back was enough for people to be like, yep, cool, excited. But this trailer was pretty cool at E3. This was one where people, I think a lot of people who maybe been holding off on a PS5 have been waiting for footage of God of War Ragnarok to think, man, is this where I'm going to make the jump? And I think a lot of people are now like, yeah, I need a PS5. Need that PS5. Let me Google this really quickly. Is God of War Ragnarok, is it exclusive to PS5?
No, it's PS4 as well.
Oh,
it's released.
God,
it's released on the 9th. Yeah, released on the 9th of November. And the limited, like the special, like limited edition ones, people have already been banging them on eBay for like ridiculous money.
For God's sake,
with like statues and all that kind of shit.
Yeah,
I think it's the hammer. Yeah, it comes with like it's like a hammer. It comes with a dice set and a shrine.
I've not really played a lot of the God of War games. I have played some of them, but I've not really been following the series that closely. But one of the previous, the one where he's got his son with him, that was on PlayStation Plus last month, I think it was, or was it the month before?
Yeah,
very recently. So that's definitely on my to play list.
It's fantastic, mate.
So, a lot of people, I can remember when that came out, loads of people said it was absolutely brilliant. So I definitely do want to play that. It's
not a spoiler, and I kind of hope that they continue with the art style in this one. But the God of War that you're hopefully going to get to play soon, Tim, is all one shot. Doesn't cut away. There's no cut scene where it cuts to over the shoulders or anything. The camera just either moves around or stays in fixed areas. But the whole game is one shot, including
I always
the
appreciate
fighting.
that in films where they have like scenes with like one shot. Like that scene in Kill Bill where it's like the whole thing's like one shot for like a really long sequence. I always appreciate that in movies, but don't think I've ever seen that really happen in a game. So that's
and
that's
not one
piqued
that's as
my
long
interest.
As
I'll definitely be checking that out. That is definitely piqued my interest.
It segues from the cutscenes to the fighting without any cut, which is
cool.
It's very cool, and I really hope they continue that with this. And I kind of hope that they expand. Oh, what was the kid's name? I know I don't want to give away who he is because Tim's not played it. What's the kid's name?
I can't remember off the top of my head.
Someone in the chat named God of War's name Kratos' kid, because it's annoying me. I can't think who it is, and it's not Boy. His actual name. But yeah, there's a cool bit at the end of that where his little story arc has like a culmination, and you're like, oh man, this is so cool, so cool. It's just banging. I absolutely cannot wait for that. I'm a bit bummed that it's PS4 as well. I know people are struggling to get PS5 still, but it really feels like
so they can sell more, innit?
That cut off. It's got to happen soon.
I know it was a long time ago, and they're still milking, aren't they?
Yeah.
Haven't
What are we
been
on
able to
now?
get
2 years?
out. Yeah, 2 years. This like November.
I think I definitely will eventually get a PS5, but I think it will be. I'm holding out for VR2. I think I really like to get the VR2 on PS5 and see when there's a library up. And then I weighed up my options. I was looking at PS5 or Xbox Series X or getting a new gaming laptop, and I've gone for the laptop. There's a bit more to spend, but then I thought I'd get more out of it because then I can use it for making videos and and doing the PC VR link as well. So it kind of opened up quite a lot of stuff for me to play.
For sure. It's that's annoyed me a bit. You're like, oh man, I was really banking on that being like a really good big PS5 exclusive that kind of starts propelling people to want that system a little bit more. Not that people don't want it, but I'm presuming everybody's seen.
I definitely think the new sort of, I can't remember what they've called it, but it's the equivalent to Game Pass, isn't it? Like they've got the different levels, like the Platinum and the.
It is. I think they've just expanded PS Plus, haven't they?
Yeah,
so PlayStation
it's
Plus
different tiers of PS Plus, isn't it? I think with that, if you can get a PS5 and access a library of games without having to like spend loads of extra money to pay a monthly fee, I think that's quite appealing. I think that's now that's come out, that's the thing that's made me go, right, it might be time to jump on PS5 at some point. But I'm not in a massive rush to get it because I've just got so many other games to play. I've got a huge back catalogue of games I'm never going to get through, so I just need to pick a game and stick with it, I think.
Excellent. So there we go. God of War Ragnarok. Less of a topic, more of a it looks pretty cool. Can't wait to play that.
Yeah, looks pretty good.
Okay. Next thing, which is something until recently I was totally unaware of, and by recently I mean today, is this game that you guys mentioned today, which is Multiverses. Multiverses. I thought, what the hell is that? Clearly it's going to be some sort of multiverse game. Then had a quick look it up. I had to double check with you guys that was in fact the game, because I thought Scooby-Doo, Batman, Wonder Woman, what's this? And yeah, it transpires it's a clone of Smash Brothers, but with Warner Brothers and DC properties in them.
I think this must have come from jumping off the back of the new Space Jam film. So have you seen the latest Space Jam movie?
Nope, not seen.
There's bits in that where like the whole, I presume you've seen the first Space Jam where they're in the cartoon world, aren't they? Have the game at the end. I was watching. I think when they have there's certain scenes where they're playing basketball, there's an audience, and in the audience is literally as many different characters as you can think of thrown at it. And it's just full of Easter eggs. There's just tons of characters. I would say it's kind of rivaling things like Ready Player One, where every other person in that film was just like from something. There's just tons of people there, and then it's all Warner Brothers properties. So this game is all Warner Brothers characters, but it's got quite a vast reach, I think, of stuff from like DC stuff to Looney Tunes to like it's got Adventure Time, it's got Finn and Jake in it, and then people from Steven Universe. And I think it's going to keep growing by the looks of it.
Yeah, it says it's free to play on PlayStation 5, free to play on every platform. So it's basically like one of your Fortnite and like how Fall Guys has gone now. Try and reel you in to then spend money on other characters.
Yeah, have you still got the character list there, Planners?
No, but I can quickly find it. But yeah, I think they've got a few new ones coming. But it was right here. So the Iron Giant, Taz from Looney Tunes, Velma from Scooby-Doo, Batman, Bugs Bunny, Finn the Human, Garnett. Who else is on there? Shaggy from Scooby-Doo, and Jake the Dog, Tom and Jerry, Superman, Wonder Woman, Steven Universe, Rhine Dog, Harley Quinn. So, and then it says here that it's other characters include Gandalf, Harry Potter, Fred Flintstone, Bed 10, Godzilla, LeBron James, Morty, Rick Sanchez.
Oh, yeah, it's got Rick and Morty in it. Jeez.
Yeah, so
Godzilla, Rick and Morty, Shaggy.
Wow.
that's crazy. They've all got their own fighting styles, apparently.
Yeah, that does sound pretty cool. Actually, that does sound good.
I mean,
it's got a real good mix of stuff in there.
I'm sure I'll play it. I'm
a
sucker for a beat 'em up, you know.
always loved Super Smash Brothers, so if it's akin to that, I'm definitely going to enjoy it. I think because I do
Yeah,
love Smash.
definitely.
I think, do you know what? So
Yeah.
that's one of the that's the only time I've actually paid for a DLC character. Is I've not gone up for all of them because I bought Smash and they did bring out some DLCs, but I really wanted to play as Terry Bogard. So when they brought out Terry Bogard DLC, I was like, yeah, I might just have to buy that one because I thought that's pretty cool. Because I think Terry Bogart's my favorite like fighting game character.
Yeah.
So I needed him in there, but the other ones I've not bothered paying for.
It's, I don't know. It's one of those things, isn't it? It goes back to like you said, Blanners. It goes back to being that Fortnite vibe again. You know, I mean, people will pay for what they're willing to pay for things, won't they? And it's just,
I think it's all about getting the right balance with it. If they're taking the piss out of people and they're just like charging those money, I think one thing that EA got in trouble with before as well wasn't like these loot crates. It's like I want to at least know what I'm getting. If you're going to say, right, I have to pay money to open a packet where I've got a chance of getting something that I want, that's like, it's effectively gambling, isn't it? You're spending money for a chance to get something. You always get something, but you might not get something that's rare. I think that's a bit off. I don't really like that. I think, like I say, is it aesthetics? I don't mind paying for aesthetics because it's not actually going to affect the game. But if it's something you need to be better in the game and it's pay to win, or like the game is locked until you pay for a little bit, so it's like a demo until you start paying, then it's pay to play. That is different. But as long as you can experience the game and enjoy it to a degree without spending money, and paying for these extra bits is just because you're enjoying it and you want to have extra bits in there, I think that's fine. But it depends on what the devs do and how much they push it. So I think a good example one is Pokemon Go. I played Pokemon Go quite solidly for like maybe 2 years before I like moved and I wasn't in a good area for it. And that you can fully enjoy that game without spending any money. But if you want to buy some extra money, you can buy a few extra egg incubators, and you can have some spare Pokeballs so you don't run out. But if you do run out of Pokeballs, you go to a stop and you get some more. Like, it's not the end of the world. But if you want to have some extra stuff in your bag or buy a bigger bag and things like that, there's a few extra bits that help you along in the game a bit. And it's not horrendously expensive. So I think that is fair. And that game, it was free and it made millions within the first weekend. Like, I don't know, might have to look at the stats, but they made an absolute ton of money that first weekend. But I don't feel like they've had a paywall behind the enjoyment of the game. You could easily enjoy that game without paying loads of money.
Oh, 100%. And I think, like you say, if more of these companies follow that model,
I think that's the right way to go. So I don't really play a lot of mobile games. There's only like one or two, but I used to play a game quite a lot called Rival Knights. And that was one where it's like a jousting game. So you do this little jousting game and you have like seals, and the seals would refresh over time. And if you ran out of seals, you could either use your gems and stuff to buy things, and you could pay money to get the in-game money. So you could like buy more seals and buy your equipment sooner. But if you didn't want to buy that, you would just wait. So if I'd run out of seals, stop playing the game, I'd go back and play it tomorrow and have a full bank of seals again. But if you run out of seals, okay, I'm going to spend some money to release some more so I can keep playing the game. So it's meant that you had forced breaks put upon you, but I was happy with that, so I didn't spend lots of money on it. But I think sometimes if they get it right, it's not too bad. Again, I'd much prefer to go, okay, I'll pay a tenner and have the whole game and just do it once, but that wasn't an option.
Yes, never will it be in that type of game either. But Multiverses, I'll give it a go. I've seen there's an IGN review. I'm sure I'll probably watch that in a bit and see what they think of it. Not that it massively matters. It's just IGN generally do short video reviews with what's going on. It's nice and easy to follow. But Batman and Bugs Bunny having a ruck. What's not to like? I could kind of get behind that without too many problems.
Yeah, I think there's some good combinations there that I'd be happy to see, like especially like Rick and Morty and like Jake and Finn. I think that'd be quite funny.
That would be cool. Cool. Right, before we jump onto this month's PS Plus and Games with Gold titles, I did say that there would be a topic I wanted to talk about that Harry spoke a lot about Harry today. Harry at work brought up, and that was that Oculus Quest 2 is getting a price hike. It's jumping up £100 from August. So if you want an Oculus Quest 2 at the price that it currently is, you need to jump on it now, just purely because it's getting this £100 price hike, and I can't see.
Yeah, I've just seen why. I've just seen why.
Go for it.
So, clear my throat. In helping moving the VR industry forward for the long term. Close brackets.
That's it.
Yeah.
They're going to make more money to invest back into their business, basically. And
So
make
an
more
Oculus
on
2
that.
price hike is on the horizon, but Meta says it's $100 increase will help in moving the VR industry forward in the long term.
So to make more money
Yeah,
is the short
basically.
answer.
It's not exactly not rocket science, is it? Doing that?
Well,
It's
I've
like, we're going to
always,
charge you more, so we make
yeah,
more. Cool.
I've always found the actual like games are quite expensive as well. They're not like,
I know
do you know
there's
what I
a
mean? They're not,
few. Also, if you sideload stuff, if you get side quests, there's quite a few free things. And if you
yeah,
get
but
PVR link, there's more stuff to get. You
that's not what I want. I want the proper
just want it in
games
the
like
headset,
Resident Evil 4, like you just played
yeah,
the other day. You're looking at 30 quid plus.
yeah.
Do you know
It's
what I
worth it
mean?
though.
So,
Resident Evil 4 in VR is pretty good. That's a really fun game. I've
so
been playing that as well recently.
yeah. So do you know what I mean? I do feel sometimes I do look at a few of the games. There's a like my son bought this golf game and it was like over 20 quid and I was like, do you know what I
You
mean?
do
I didn't
get
think it was worth it.
regular discounts though. Like every now and then they'll
Yeah,
email
just
you a discount code. It's like you can get 30% off for the next month, when it expires in a month. So
yeah.
I normally wait around, and they do quite a lot of flash sales as well, don't they?
Yeah, so just
Bundles
keep
and
an eye
things like
on the
that.
store, like the app you download.
Yeah,
Just keep
and
an
like
eye
you can
on that.
favorite things and track them. So then if something you favorited has a discount on, I think it alerts you.
Yeah.
I mean, as a bit of kit, it is brilliant. I can't
It is
fault it.
brilliant. Yeah, it's
Absolutely,
brilliant.
like one of the best things I bought, I think, is an Oculus Quest 2.
Mm.
It is really, really good, and it works so well. I just think the thing where you go into a room and you paint the boundary and you create your virtual space, and you can walk in and out of it. So, like, if you poke your head through the virtual wall, you'll start seeing your room again through the front-facing camera, and then you turn around, and you can see the room, and you walk into it. So you can have that free walking and free turning. So sometimes you could be stood up playing a game and like turn all the way around, or you can be sat down and turn around with the analog sticks. Like the actual controls of it are brilliant. Yeah, I mean, I think
Have you had a go on one, Ollie?
I haven't. My son has one
Oh,
upstairs, and I still just haven't.
no, it's got to. It's
Well,
really
jumped
it's
good.
on it.
mental. Yeah, just literally,
Yeah.
just gonna say, just
It's
crack it out,
brilliant.
have a go.
Yeah.
It is
I
good.
absolutely love mine. I think it's amazing. I would suggest as well. I've got mine here actually. I would always suggest getting a different strap for it, because the headset I found a bit uncomfortable when I first got it, and I upgraded, and I don't think it's too much. I think I got this for like 25 quid. But you see on mine, it's kind of got this more big padding on the head strap
Mm-hmm.
and things like that, and it just I mirrored something, and you can like just literally turn it like that, and it goes over your head, and then cranks down.
Okay. Cool.
Yeah, that's a lot more comfortable with that on.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think they're brilliant. But I would, if you're hesitant and you're thinking about getting one, and you want to get one before the price goes up, I'd say 100% get one.
Yeah, get one before they go up, definitely.
Yeah, I think it's one of the same as anything, isn't it? If something's more expensive, you're just going to think a little bit harder about whether you want it or not. I think for
You
300 quid, it's
absolutely are.
brilliant for 300 quid. I'm surprised. Yeah,
400.
it's weird. It's like if it had already been 400, I'd be like, yeah, it's a really big kit. Probably 400 is a fair price to pay for what you're getting. But to go from 300 to 4, it's like, well, why has it gone up by so much? Normally things like that come down in price when they've been out a while. So bit of an odd one, bit of a bold stroke there by Meta, I think.
Well,
Oh, but I think
blockbusters.
here, just reading here, it says that Beat Saber will come with Quest 2 headsets, and that's like a £20 game as well. So I think they're trying to throw that in to try and sweeten the deal.
Yeah, and that is quite a popular game. It is a good game. I don't have an Oculus. I've got that on PlayStation VR. But I think the Oculus versions, you can like download extra tracks and customize stuff and do a whole bunch of other things.
Intriguing, but yeah, strange that it's for the greater good is kind of what they're trying to say. But
in
really
all
it's just to
fairness,
make more
though,
money.
like aside from gaming, some of the stuff you can do in the Oculus is really impressive, and I think it will have advancements of things like trying to think of an example now, but with like augmented reality things, you can you can interact physically around you and have that virtual reality augmented stuff around you for things like construction, things like that. If it's going to have step-by-step instructions, and you're going to have like, I don't know, a plank, a frame of where a plank of wood goes, and then you get your actual plank of wood and line it up until it goes ding and it's green, and then you can get screwing the right place. Like, you could do a step-by-step guide, and then someone who's untrained could follow a guide through it by wearing a VR headset and do it perfectly. So there's things like that. Just as a concept, we'll start seeing. I think going forward, you'll start seeing advances in construction and medical stuff and
Yeah, that's what I
manufacturing.
was saying earlier, Tim, is my brother's other half, she's just literally last week managed to get a job in it where she does medical. She's actually got to try and sell the kit to other hospitals, but and it's just by putting on a Quest 2. So, and that's like starting now. So yeah, could be the future.
Yeah,
Interesting. So, just leading into talking about this month's, and I say this month's, we are literally at the tail end of July. PS Plus and Games with Gold. We'll run with Games with Gold first because, like always, it's pretty poor.
Yeah.
So Games with Gold for July this month have been, or are for a very short more period of time, Beasts of Maravella Island. I think that's their big one. No idea what that is. Relicta.
I don't even know if I've downloaded these yet. I'm going to have to go on to my Xbox after this and make sure I've got them.
And then the classic lineup of backwards compatibility games are Thrillville Off the Rails, which I'm presuming is basically Roller Coaster Tycoon, and Torchlight, which is like a Dungeons and Dragons type game. Yeah. I can't say I've played any of those until today. I can't say I've probably heard of those.
But it doesn't. That's about it.
Doesn't tick a huge box for me, but there you go. That's your Games with Gold this month. You know, tell me if I'm wrong for misjudging that. But
no, I think every month at the moment, PlayStation just knock it out of the park compared to Xbox with the monthly games. But I think where I've got Game Pass, I don't think I'm overly far. I'm not playing the Games with Gold games anyway, so I've got Game Pass. But I always I can't help it. I always have to go in and download them because they're only free for the month, aren't they? If you don't get them while they're free, you lose the chance. I kind of feel like they should just make that automatic because I feel like I have to remember each month to do it. And no matter how bad the game looks, and I'm never going to play it, I will still download it because it's free. Like, I need a free game. I can't help it. I'm really neurotic about it now.
I think that's why theirs are so crap, is because literally they just want you on games. They just want you on Game Pass.
Yeah, that's the thing, isn't it? It's the selling point of games. Like, oh, you can have these free games, or you could get these ones, which are like
day one, one release.
Oh, the day one release is just you can't beat it. I think it's such good value. You've got to get it.
PlayStation Plus for July. This is just your standard cost for PlayStation Plus. This isn't your new spangled one where you get all the extra games. So your 3 games for PlayStation Plus this month are Crash Bandicoot 4, It's About Time, Arcade-ageddon, which I'm not familiar with, and Man of Medan.
I mean, Crash Bandicoot 4 alone, like, I'll happily take Crash Bandicoot 4.
Yep,
that's awesome. I haven't played it, so
neither have I.
The original trilogy.
In my library.
More than happy to get some more Crash Bandicoot in my life. So I think I'll be playing that.
Man of Medan is a great game.
I'm still going to play God of War. So I'm going to play God of War, then Crash Bandicoot.
Just to give you a bit of a heads up as well, August, PlayStation Plus's August lineup is Yakuza Like a Dragon, Little Nightmares, which is fucking awesome if you've not played that game, and Tony Hawk's Skater 1 and 2 HD remake.
That's really good.
That's a fucking killer lineup.
That is really good,
for your $6.99 a month to just play your online games. Those are the games you're going to get for free next month. Wow. I mean, I know Yakuza Like a Dragon was a launch title for Series X and it wasn't on PS5. I think at the time it was a launch title for Series X. So, you know, that's a 2-year-old game and you could probably pick it up for a tenner, but that's a tenner. You know, again, physical media people will probably have it or want the physical anyway, but £10. Tony Hawk's Pro Skater HD
game is pretty good as well. I've not played them for a while, but I did play some of the earlier ones. I think I lost track. There's loads of them now, though. If you go into Game Pass as well, there's like a whole row of Yakuza games, and I don't really know where to start with those. But as a franchise, it is pretty cool. I do like the Yakuza games.
Yeah. See, Ian from RGB Gaming Podcast in there. Little Nightmares is amazing. Yes, it is.
I've heard of it. I need to look that up then. Little Nightmares.
Little Nightmares. What a platforming game that is. It's so good. So good. It's disturbing, but in a very accessible, non-disturbing way. That makes no sense. It's as if, imagine if Tim Burton had made something that was really scary, but actually made it scary. less sort of Edward Scissorhands and more like Edward Scissorhands, as if he was actually going to kill people with the scissors.
Okay, yeah, kind of getting a bit of a Coraline vibe to this.
Yes,
Yeah.
that's probably
Yeah.
a better comparison. Coraline for adults.
Coraline, but you're actually in danger.
Yes,
Yeah.
yes. So yeah, Little Nightmares is amazing.
Yeah, that chef looks pretty terrifying.
Oh, dude, it's awful. Absolutely terrifying. But yeah, those games. I mean, yeah, I've certainly got Crash Bandicoot 4 in the library ready to go
I have
because
as well.
I'm not the biggest Crash Bandicoot fan. I do like the games, but I've never played the fourth one.
I think Crash Bandicoot 1, I just absolutely loved when that came out in the PS1 many moons ago. That was just one of my favorite games as a kid. So, yeah.
It's good.
There we go. I think Rhea might have asked a question earlier in the day.
Yeah, I got it.
So,
Steam Deck.
Did I miss Steam Deck thoughts? I'd like to hear your thoughts on it. Has your Steam Deck shipped yet, Ollie?
No, nothing. Haven't heard anything yet, so it's still waiting. Put me
your thoughts once you've got
£1. Yeah, £1 deposits on there. But yeah, mine's mainly I'm going to mainly use it for emulation. Really, I'm not really because I haven't gone for like the big one with all the memory and that. I'm just going to get a micro SD and upgrade it that way. But yeah, I can't wait for it to come out. I'm just hoping it's not crap, really. Which, when you look at all the reviews and I've watched YouTube videos on it, it has been really, really positive. So it's good.
I don't think anyone has said it's terrible. I think everyone has at minimum said it's pretty good.
I think it's a weird one for me because of the price point on it, and what you get is like, if you're I'm not really a PC gamer. I have a handful of things on Steam, but I don't have a lot. But if I was somebody who'd been using Steam for years and I had a huge Steam library, it would be a no-brainer. It's like, yeah, get a Steam Deck because you can play all your Steam games. It's like, I've got a friend of mine who's got one, and he said the funny thing about it is it's brilliant. He said he really likes it, but he paid, I don't know how much it was, like 350, 400 quid, something like that, isn't it?
Yeah, there's three different models.
Different prices, yeah. So I think he paid around £400 to get it, and the game he's playing on it is on Steam for £2. So he's got a £400 game machine, and he's playing a £2 game. He said, but it's a game that just runs really well on the Steam Deck, and he said it's a fun game and he's enjoying it. But it's like, he spent £2 on the game, but he spent 400 quid on the console. Amazing. So yeah, bit of an odd one. It falls into a really weird category when we're comparing like PlayStation 5 or Series X or Switch and all these other things you can compare them to. I don't think anything compares to the Steam Deck. It just comes along in its own little category because it ticks very specific boxes.
It does.
Well, it plays up to Switch perfectly. So
yeah,
I could be sorely tempted in a year or two's time to try it. I really could, and the reason being is I don't PC game, but I like that you can use it like a PC. I think we might have said this before. I like that you can use the Steam Deck like a PC, and that intrigues me a little bit. So I could put it in a desktop mode. I could hook it up to a monitor, and I could effectively have a low-end gaming PC. Which I mean, that sounds pretty cool to me. With any of the big AAA games, AAA titles, I wouldn't play it on a Steam Deck. I'm going to play it on my PS5 in the living room on a big 65-inch TV. That's where I'm going to go with that. But some of these titles where I just sort of think, yeah, some of these PC games, I think that I could be really into some of that. I'd love. I mean, I don't even have a Steam account, but I'd love to know if things like Theme Park are on there, because playing Theme Park with a trackpad, I think, would be great. Theme Park should be played with a mouse. Any roller coaster builder game like that, Jurassic Park Evolution, I know a lot of people play that as well, but it kind of feels like those games need a mouse. And you could do that with a desktop mode for the Steam Deck, or you could use the trackpad in handheld mode. So I don't know, there's a few games like that I could probably be sorely tempted to get a Steam Deck for, and it would be cool to go away on holiday and have access to this huge library of, pretty cool games. Like, I don't know. I could be tempted later down the line, I think.
If you can get hold of one.
Yeah.
There's just so many different things to get, isn't there? Like I said earlier, I want to get a PS5 at some point, but I've just spent quite a bit on a new laptop, so I think that's going to be my lot for now.
I did say this year would be the year I'd get a Series X, because you know, we're getting on to 2 years into the Xbox or the new, you know, this current generation's life cycle. And this is one of the first times I've not gone for both consoles at launch, because I just thought, no, I just can't do it, because I mean, I'm looking at my Xbox One games. What have I got? 1, 2, 3, 4. I reckon I've got maybe 12 Xbox One games, which for some people over the course of a console's life cycle is like, oh, I've got loads of games. Whereas I look at my PS4 games, like, Jesus wept. There's got to be 70 PS4 games. Like, I got my money's worth out of that PS4. And you know, look at my PS5 games, like the amount of games that are physical on PS5, it's fantastic for me. So I mean, my PS5 games are getting huge now, but 12 games for an Xbox One, like that was a waste of money for me. And especially when I look at those titles, like the big ones, like Sea of Thieves, Forza Horizon,
Yeah,
the first Titanfall, and Rise Son of Rome are probably the big, and obviously Gears of War 4 as
Gears
well.
of War. Yeah, I was gonna say Gears of War.
Was it worth 400 quid out of my pocket at the time to play those games? And the answer is probably no. Like, I really don't feel like I've gotten the most out of my Xbox this time round. But that being said, because you can now backwards compatibility with basically everything, that kind of has made it more interesting for me. And there's, you know, some of those games like Halo Infinite, that's the one that always pulls me into
Really
Halo.
good. It's good.
Guardians was okay. It was okay, but Infinite looks the tits.
Yeah, I mean, I am tempted because I've got it would make sense because I've got Game Pass to get just the digital series, because the digital Series X is not as much, is it? It's like what, 250?
Yeah, something like
Series
250.
S.
The smaller digital one, and it's like, don't bother buying any games, just get that to access the games I can play on Game Pass, and then I'm not spending a load more money. Then
Doesn't
that's
run 4K
reasonable.
though. So if you've got if you've got a 4K telly, Series S, I don't believe pushes out the 4K content. Still look great, like it's not going to look awful. It's not going to look like you've got cataracts in your eyes or anything. But if you've got that 4K setup, I think you're going to want that 4K experience.
True.
So I don't
tricky. Yeah, I think weighing up the options are still at the moment between the Xbox and the PS5. I think I'm leaning more PS5 at the moment. Again, I'm gonna have to wait for either. So who knows what's gonna happen by the time I actually get to buy one. I'm just gonna.
Xbox is still doing great deal. We've gone
just
well
gonna
off topic.
enjoy my Oculus and my other stuff that I've got at the moment.
I think Xbox, just going way off topic, I think Xbox are still doing on their website, you can get an Xbox Series S or a Series X and 2 years worth of Game Pass for like 30 quid a month for 2 years. So you effectively pay for 2 years worth of Game Pass and the new console, but it's just spread over to, it's a finance option. But it works out to be about the cost of the console and the thing and your Game Pass. So you're not being necessarily cheated out of a huge amount of money of interest or anything like that.
It's quite a good way of doing it. If you were willing to, part of £30 a month, it's a good way of doing it. Because you're going to be paying a monthly fee anyway, aren't you? It's just
a lot of people
adding the console on top.
A lot of people can find £30 a month, can't you? It's sort of not going out as much or doing something else, and people can find that if you want that console and 2 years access to all the brand new games. That's it. You never have to pay for a game again, do you? For 2 years if you didn't want to.
No, I love mine. I got it day one. It's basically the size of 2 GameCubes stacked on top of each other, fan on top. It is, it's really, really well. When you look at the two consoles, it pisses all over the PS5 with how the size of it. Like, do you know what I mean? How big that PS5 is. It's like, it is funny as hell. I just still can't believe they released something that big. But
it's a weird shape as well, isn't it? The PS5. It doesn't look. I wouldn't say it looks nice.
It's grown on me.
The older consoles are really smart. Like, I think the PS4 looks really nice. It's a nice looking console. It's really sleek, really smart design. And the PS5, I just think it's weird.
It's
an odd shape. It's got the weird
it's huge,
coming off. Like, what is this? Look.
I have to have it on show. So you go into my house, you've got the massive TV, you've got the PS5 there because it's so big, and then on the other side, I've got the Xbox, so you can view. So, but no, and then you got the Switch as well hidden in the corner. But the Xbox is the build quality is really good. Controllers obviously no way near as good as the PS5. You got no chance. But the DualSense is just something else in it. But the the actual menu and dashboard's really quick and easy to get through. And it's, as I said, it is a good option for people. I've picked it up, as you're saying, just mainly because you can get day one games. Rather, like I was saying, I was definitely going to get Forza either way, and I was like, "Oh, well, fuck it! I'll get 6 months of Xbox for what I would have just bought that one game on." And I ended up playing Halo. And then now they've bought all these other big companies as well. You're looking at like the Call of Duty franchises and stuff. Do you know what I mean? It's only going to be getting better. That kind of, which, like you're saying, digital is kind of slowly they're slowly trying to push it's slowly trying to get in. Like they tried it with the Xbox 360, the Xbox One originally, didn't they? With like giving you Connect and having like an output for your input for like your TV and all that, and wanted everything to run through it. Got a bit of a backlog and ended up going back. I think they were just a bit too ahead of their time. If you know what I mean?
Yeah. So there we go. You start talking about Steam Deck, and we get on to
Xbox.
Bring everything.
Series X and PS5.
I remember that when they really pushed the Connect as well. I don't have my Connect on anymore. Like I used to. I used to quite like the Connect, like the voice activation thing was quite. I used to do like Xbox TV and all that sort of stuff. I think my Connect just stopped working though. So and then I think a friend of mine had a Connect. He's like, I don't use it. You can have it. And then that one stopped working as well. So not really had much luck with Connects. They seem to pack out on me.
The thing I found most useful for Connect was navigating the Xbox menu, because I frequently like, where the fuck is that? Like, how do I find that? It'd just be like Xbox, go to something or other. Oh, there it is. All right, fine. I'm going to leave the Connect plugged in for just convenience. And then someone was like, oh yeah, you got to push the menu button on the controller, like the Xbox button. It brings up a sub menu. So what if I don't want to do that? Why can't I just be there? Stupid Microsoft. Never mind. There we go, chaps. ModCons episode 4.
Okay.
In the bag. As always, it's sort of a bit loosey-goosey as to when we kind of run these things. So maybe we'll try and get a bit more of a structure moving forwards into August. Maybe we'll pick a date in August and we can see if we can sort of structure it out a little bit more than we do. But it's always fun. I enjoy talking about the modern stuff. We don't get to talk about it on the main RGR too much, so it's nice to have a little dedicated section to it.
It's funny how we always seem to revert back and mention some old stuff anyway.
Yeah.
You can't get away from it. Can't get away from these retro games. It
Never
comes back in.
Never will.
No.
Anyway, chaps, it's been a pleasure as always. Thank you everyone for tuning in who has tuned in live, and thank you very much for watching this on repeat if you watch it back again. Hit us up in the comments if you played any of the games that we talked about at the beginning. As always looking to hear from what you guys are up to. If for whatever reason you're new to us, stumbled across us by accident, welcome to our little slice of the internet. Consider hitting that subscribe button because that helps us out a ton. And I will see you all very, very soon, chaps. Take care.
Yeah, bye.